Are you serious? Oh, he's a real type of dandy. All right, there we go. Let's roll. I'm ready.
That's in the intro, right? That's not being cut.
Yeah. Okay. Good.
That's good energy at the start.
Good to see you, young man.
Yeah.
Look, here's what I want to talk about today.
Wow.
Here's what I want to talk about today.
And he's taking
Here's
the
the
reins.
title of the episode.
Okay.
Laughing is living.
Sir. Episode 11. 10 eps later, we're full circle.
Yeah, I guess we did bring that up, episode 1.
Yeah. So,
Briefly.
blocked by James. Nice try.
No, we'll get into that.
You know,
because
you know what?
I'm at
take what we said last episode. Be resilient. Drive to the rack again on a new
I'm at my best.
Yeah.
When I am approaching my day with a willingness and a deliberate attempt to laugh more, to generate more laughs of those around me. Not that I'm trying hard to be funny. I'm just naturally just hysterical.
Sure.
Everything is better. And so when I'm not laughing, something's off. Something's off. And there's probably a reason for that. But that reason can't be strong enough that it strips the joy of living.
Yeah, I like that. Anything else? Or do you want me to formulate on the spot?
I don't have much else. I'm just saying I would love for this to just get it funny. It's real weird.
I don't know about that. I'm relaxed today. Been relaxed.
Hey, you are. You're a relaxer.
No, that is true, though. Like, when you break out of that propensity
Nice.
for humor and snappy, and you get to a point where, like, you're frustrated all the time, or you turn inside and you don't want to socialize, or you start to be more self-centered and don't think about that smile you can evoke, something's off.
I'd say my love language. Someone asked me this recently.
That's just horseshit.
Someone asked me this. So, Brendan, what's your love language? You know what I said?
Contrived.
I said laughing. Laughing is a huge pillar of my love language. If you can't make me laugh, or if we can't laugh together, you can't laugh at yourself. Maybe this is where this goes.
Yeah, possibly.
Then we're not going to work. And I think it's telling of a person. The ability to laugh at yourself, to be self-deprecating, is so attractive. Both in a way of whether I'd be attracted to the person, or just like it's awesome to be around people
charismatic.
who can be self-deprecating, to have friends who can laugh at themselves. To me, what I always have never liked is when
somebody too buttoned up, take
themselves
too serious.
Let me go, dog.
It's on me. And
is when people's sense of humor is driven by putting others down. Like that's the main sense of humor, shitting on others. Look, there's times where you're gonna laugh and joke with your friends, and you got to be able to bust their balls, and they got to be able to handle it. But like, I've never liked when it's just like people find it really funny for some reason just to like bury your friends all the time, versus like actually being somewhat witty and having some creativity to humor,
or just
mixed
like having
with
regular inside jokes.
Yes,
you know, it's like, come on now.
Yeah, mixed with being able to laugh at yourself.
Yeah,
I think that's a sign of someone who is secure, and I just think it goes a long way. Don't take yourself too serious. We talk a lot about balance. It's another one of those balances you got to find, is like you got to take your life really seriously and
your mission,
but you can't take yourself too seriously, you know, because we're up in our head with being around ourselves, because we are ourselves the whole day, and it's like,
if you're constantly buried in that challenge,
yeah, you're just
you need that levity.
Agreed.
Yeah. And it's funny because typically the times or the people who are in that, you know, humorousness is only derived from shitting on others, are typically the ones who can't laugh at themselves.
Yes, and are insecure.
Right.
It's some deeper insecurity.
Yeah.
Those who put down others, there's something more internal there,
Right.
I think. A lot of times, like obviously sometimes it's not that deep.
Yeah.
And it's like whatever, people just shit on each
But
other.
it's still like, what you doing?
But what you doing? Why
Yeah.
is that so funny to you? You know,
Yeah.
I that's why I've always said, we gave that example a couple episodes. Remember, people will laugh when you see in like the Boston Common those people who do the tour guides dressed up as
Right.
pilgrims.
It's like, are you scared?
Yeah, and I just have the opposite reaction where I'm
Yeah.
kind of like, dude, I find that I have so much respect for the fact that they're doing that. And like, what, we're going to shit on the fact that this guy feels a real penchant for giving tour guides of Boston, and or he's just doing this because he's trying to fucking pay bills.
Yeah.
It's a little side hustle. Like, come on, we're going to put him down for
Yeah.
that? That takes courage. So it never sits that well with me when, if I ever catch myself ganging up on some kind of joke that results is a product of just putting down someone else or what they did, because I don't know, we're all better than the most embarrassing moment we've had or most vulnerable moment we've had. So why are we going to just bury people for it? Doesn't sit well with me.
Yeah. It's funny because like a lot of people who either shit on others and find that like gratifying, or who like maybe don't respect others' grind or like their ethic or just their like handling of human experience, which really we talked about last step is tough in and of itself, usually are the people who don't bring things out of themselves or who haven't had natural experiences in their environment to you know, force that. It's like there's a certain respect, like you said in that ep with the pilgrim. It's like, yeah, this might be funny, like look at the guy, he's dressing like a goober, but it's like he's grinding.
Yeah.
He's trying to make it. And it's like somebody who's also doing that, if they're in a 3-piece suit going to the bank job, it's like grind is grind.
Grind is grind.
And it's like the respect and the humility that puts on you when you fail and you realize how the fuck hard it is. It's like that carries to whatever field, profession, whatever. But it's like if you don't have that humility come your way, and it will eventually, whether it's now and you accept it and you put it on yourself, or you get that shit when you're 30, 40, considering what the fuck you've done for the last 2 decades, you know, that shit'll hit you hard.
Yeah, and you'll look back and be like, wow, I was burying others for
right.
same things, and now I'm facing it. So, and that's the empathy part. That's why I think putting down people, especially in moments, and not even in a humorous sense, but like this just comes to then shitting on people, forget like it being turned and twisted into a joke, but more so like kicking people when they're down or when something doesn't go well, and it's like jumping on the bandwagon of rashing on someone. It's like, yo, have a little empathy in the sense that like if you've either been there and you know how shitty that feels, or if you haven't been there, you're gonna be there one time in your life and you're gonna be like, damn, that was a low moment, and to feel like you wouldn't want other people just burying you.
Right. And it's like a lot of the times when people are there and they are getting buried who have buried in the past, then the entitlement's like, well, why do I get this? Why are they doing this to me? It's like, are you even introspective enough to see that you've done that in the past? And it's not even necessarily like a karmic thing. It's just an is what it is. Like, how does it feel, boy?
Yeah.
How does it feel?
Yeah, right. What do you think is something you could laugh at yourself about? laugh. Yeah, you know what I mean?
I think for me, like, this might sound not like corny, but for me, when I speak, a lot of like I take a lot of pride in being able to deliver a poignant message and like have a thread from when I tell a story through to the end, so that I can impart the message and really impact a person and make them perceive it. And so like I take a lot of pride in not fumbling over my words and having my word choice be crispy, be fitting, and just be able to articulate eloquently a story or an experience or metaphor or whatever it is. And so like, as much as I want to be perfect all the time, and as much as I do find presence and like a pace at which I can speak that is poignant when I need to focus, sometimes I fuck up when I'm trying to focus, and sometimes even when I'm trying to like tell a joke or tell a story or some shit, whether it's something light or serious, like just being able to laugh at myself when I stumble over a word or choose the wrong word or like make a contraction that isn't real. Like the other day I said freezingist, and like I was just telling a story about someone from work, and it's like not a word. And I was just like, my boys roasted me for it. They were like, "What'd you just say, bro?" And I just laughed at myself. I was just like, "Yo, chill," like, whatever the hell. And it's just like, I don't really need to be that. It's like, what? It doesn't matter. You know what I mean? Not only was it not serious then, but like plenty more opportunities for those meaningful conversations. And it's also like, just round out the point and make sure you impart what you're trying to impart. Don't lose your presence furthermore because you're in your own head about, oh, it wasn't perfect. Oh, they're going to be judging how I spoke. Oh, it's not going to be perceived. It's like, that's just one example for me that I do have a lot of pride in, because I do like, conversation and story and that shit and the effect that I can have for the better. But it's also like, I ain't perfect. I'll try to, speak the best I can for you, but I can laugh at, freezingest. That's nice. For me.
What about something hopefully you ask these back to me. When someone asks a question, hoping they get it asked back.
Mm-hmm.
But I have another one first. What's something you look back on about yourself 3, 4 years, 5 years, whatever ago, and you laugh at? Whether that's like a slight you cringe or it's like...
Yeah, I mean, there's plenty of cringe.
Yeah, me too. But like I'll give you one, for example. Oh, and I actually think this is a greater issue.
I'm curious.
And I look back on these is Instagram captions.
Mm-hmm. Sure.
It used to be like you had to try so hard to like get the fitting bar.
You need that bar.
When it's like, this just does not align with either the post or it's like, this
you
is
and
not
Nike tee and some NMDs.
This is not me talking at all. Like I remember there was one, it was
Drake bar or something.
It was like and I look back on, I'm like, why'd I care? Or why'd I try so hard? Now it's like, what would I actually say to, I had a mixtape high school and it was, and I remember the caption was like, steady riding my wave, just wait till the tide come in. Like, what is that? What is that? And I have other people I know who try to be so creative, and it's like, dude, that's one of those things I look back, I laugh at though. I think it's so funny.
Yeah, it is. It's just hilarious.
It's hilarious.
I don't know how you could look at that and not just be like, yo, I was such a clown.
This is so funny.
This was culture, like laughing at culture and also your participation in it. Like, this is hilarious.
Yeah, I remember there was like I was playing basketball and it was like, moment I stop having fun with it, I'll be going with it. Yeah. It's like, dog, I'm in 6th grade, okay? Like, who cares about when I stop loving it? I'm you just started playing. Yeah. Oh, man, it's funny. But that's one of the things. I got many others, but what about you?
I mean, I think 2 things come to mind. One, just my ability to laugh at just like and like I said, like, this has been one of the biggest points of growth for me, but like my arrogance when I was younger and like my entitlement and my cockiness, and life has humbled me And I continue to try to humble myself, and I try to have people around me hold me accountable when that story gets too grandiose. But like, I always just like am patient with myself when I think about past entitlement and like, or I would just like, as a freshman, pull up to the rec, just annoying as for just trying to talk shit and just poke bears at the rec. And granted, like, that was early in the work, and I was young and immature, and we were fresh off a year of, you know, Kobe, Jordan, Grover,
bully mode.
And in basketball was the main thing, so I didn't have that, like, oh, like, this is just a piece of the pie, you know. It's not everything, so I was in there fucking.
Should I tell my crazy Jordan story? My Kobe story?
Sure.
You know which one I'm talking about, right?
Was that the runs?
No. This is the life example.
Sure.
Remember? Do you know?
I mean, you can tell it and refresh me, and I'll probably either say, oh, yeah, I remember that.
Remember, I don't like you.
Oh, yeah. That's a... You know what? Save that. The story I do remember was when we were getting runs with Spence.
Yeah. Oh, my God.
Okay,
so you were a witness, so you can tell the story.
Yeah. We were getting runs with Spence.
I was cooking.
B was cooking. Older guy. College guy.
Yeah.
Something like that. A little bigger than B, stronger than B, just had more time to, you know, get in that weight room and just mature in the game and all that. B and I are in these runs early in the work stage, that COVID stage. There's another, you know, little posse, one man posse out there, motorcycle. We appreciate that. Thank you. Early in the stage of, you know, training the mentality, trying to get that killer there. Emulate Kobe and Jordan in competitiveness on the court. B's going back and forth with this guy back and forth. He's hitting some jumpers. He's getting to the rack. Okay. At one point, it gets a little chippy. He's getting physical. B's holding his own. There's some chatter back and forth. I forget if you scored, you talk shit. He comes down. Does he get a buck or does he miss?
I feel like he didn't get a buck.
Okay, so then B comes back down, and now it's like, I scored, I stopped you. If I score here, that's 2 out of 3. You know what I'm saying? The battle, the duel is over. B hit him with the handle. I think you might have hit him with a cross. You drove to the rack, and you either got to like a bump fade, or you got to a little jump, stop, fade, kissed it off the glass, and then he just, whoa, and then just shoved that dude.
Oh, God.
And then the rock was like bouncing, and then he like got all in your face and shit, and then like people broke it up, and the teammates dispersed everybody real quick. But that shit was so electric. I remember I watched that from like half courtish, like top of the 3-point line, when you were just going at him, and then you had to let him know. But that's just like some shit you just wouldn't do. And it's hilarious, and it's like, you know, it's imperfect, and it's like not that humble and all that shit. But it's like, granted, honestly, I'm glad you had the courage. You had that chip.
Yeah.
You had that, like, what's good, bro? Like, like, I'm young, but I'm hungry, and I'm in these runs, and I'll go at you. I don't give a fuck who you are. But yeah, that was all time. That was all time. You were just blacked out, and I was just like, that's the shit.
Yeah, no, that was cool.
Yeah.
But yeah, you look back, you're like, who was that? Who did that?
Yeah.
But again, it's a space that you channel. Because I will say that the big game I had to start the year, I went to that place a little bit. I remember I hit a 3 in some 3 hit a 3. First play of the game. His first play of sophomore year. Hit a 3 in this kid's mouth. He was a freshman. And I'm not like a shit talker like that, but I was like, oh wait, you're like anxious for the whole game. You hit that first shot, you're like, okay.
Start of the season, energy or hype, you're getting
and
back. Sometimes it boils over. You know?
So I hit a 3. Like, he closed out late, hit the 3. We're running back on D. Welcome to college, bitch. And it was like right in front of my coach, and my coach loves some shit talk. But he was like, hey, shut the fuck up. Hey, shut up, B, man. And then the rest of the game, I was talking a lot of shit, and was kind of like a blackout. But then it's not me. I cringe at like So when I see young guys, like I play with some high school kids when I'm doing like working out. I've been like training a bunch of kids, and then I'll jump in sometimes just to humble them a little bit. Mm-hmm. But like some of them will just talk a ton of shit like to other kids, And I'm just like, yo, we're all in here to get better. Like, check yourself, because this game is going to check.
At a camp.
Yeah, you know what I mean?
Camp.
So anyway, it's good to, I'm glad those moments happen, because they are special, and you got to be able to channel that sometimes. But yeah, it gets, I've had moments where I'm just like, oh, I was such a cocky prick. But again, I've had moments where I have no confidence in myself too.
Right.
And so it's like, you got to.
And you think about both of those.
You think about both of them. You're like, how was I in that state where I was like, yo, I don't care who you as college kids are. And I'm just like, you know, I'm dominating you. But then you have moments where you're like, wait, dude, I'm playing out here with guys I'm better than, and I feel terrible, or going through life and confidence ain't as high. So yeah, you got to be able to, can't take yourself too serious, both when things go well and when things go not as well.
Yeah.
But it's so hard. It's such a hard balance, because when you care a lot about something and things don't go well, it's hard to have it is what it is, or like, we'll be all right, get it next time. It's like, no, it drives you fucking nuts, you know?
Yeah.
It does.
I feel like one thing with that, I guess, thank you very much. I'll just keep going. How about that? One thing with that idea of reflecting back on your younger self, and let's just say realizing you didn't have the fullest grip on the wheel, command of the vehicle, is like, to me, I feel like that's an essential part of maturing and becoming somebody who can, work and impart whatever they need to on the world and compete against themselves to win at whatever they want to do. Like, you need to have that first out of control, because you don't know where the line is until you cross it.
Yeah.
And then you can get that in control and really hone it and be more mature with how much, let's just say non-love that makes you like spontaneously spread into the world in competition or in conversation or whatever. And so it's like, I think it's important for people to realize, you literally can't learn where the line is until you cross it.
Until you cross it.
And it's like, you want to get as close to the line as possible without crossing it. But it's like,
and
you're going to come up short if you don't cross it. So cross it, fail, make your mistakes when you're young. And
to me, that's why the more I'm thinking about what I'm going to do, obviously we know what this means and how we want to grow this, but there'll be other jobs I'm going to have that aren't just MTD. That, exactly what you explained, is I think the intrigue for me about wanting to teach or coach or like work with younger kids, not like that young. I think in those more of the formative years, because so much opportunity to, and there's a level of like, okay, you want to be able to prepare people or warn people about mistakes you've made so that they don't make the same ones. But also, there is such value in going through those things yourself and feeling what it's like to have to be embarrassed by a moment you had, or like different relationships, friendships breaking off. In sports, all different kinds of failures. But being able to help people navigate those and how you respond to moments when like, oh shit, I did not know that's where the line was. Or I did not know that's what I should expect.
Yeah.
Being able to help people get through that is huge.
Yeah.
That makes me interested in, that feels like the reward of coaching.
Yeah, it's an interesting dimensional type of relationship where you're helping people avoid mistakes that you learn the hard way, but also supporting them through the mistakes that they have to make themselves. Because you can't bring somebody up and give them a completely smoothly paved road. Like, they'll never become anything if they don't face adversity. So it's a balance of like, okay, how can I make your ascension efficient as possible, but also be there to support you when things get rocky because they have to.
They have to.
Right.
They have to, and you gotta go through that. I mean, you can't be blanketed by everyone else. Like, you need to face shit and then manage it. And that's why my parents are the greatest, obviously, to me and to my siblings. But it's one thing. I mean, they're endlessly supportive, but they've also like allowed us to just figure things out. You know, kind of almost forced us to.
Yeah, right.
It's like, yeah, things are gonna get hard. How are you gonna respond? And we're not gonna tell you how to respond. Like, you'll know based off how you respond what this means to you, how important this is to you, whether you care about it or not. But yeah, I think to root it all back is being able to laugh at yourself and, you know, not take yourself too seriously at times can keep that spark and that joy in the things you're doing so fresh and that engine rolling, because we talk about fatigue and wearing out at times when the pressure feels so on you all the time that you're putting on yourself. You start to forget like why you're doing this. You know, so much of the things we do, you'd hope are rooted in joy.
Vision. Yeah.
You know, and you need to keep finding ways to generate that joy and sustain it, because there's days when it gets shitty. So sometimes being able to laugh at yourself or just laugh, period. Oh, man, it's the best.
That made me think about how I miss that aspect of like teaching or mentoring type of relationship, because if you do have that ability to laugh at yourself and your shortcomings / that in general, meaning in yourself as well as others, like that's a maturity and a detachment from the outcome and like a too great investment into the results that you can allows a younger person to see. And so they won't be gripped too much by the process. They can be a little more removed from it and just watch the experience. And it's like, you're not numbing necessarily things that they're gonna feel, but you know, in a way, you're sort of dictating what, you know, lessons are gonna hit them harder than others, and it's like you can kind of steer their growth to be efficient, but also to keep them moving forward so that they don't get bogged down by things that you try to explain and paint a picture of like, hey, this isn't that deep.
If you could give younger you one lesson, what would it be? I think I really know mine.
Oh, shit. That's a tough question. Share yours first, please.
I think it would be, don't be so quick to judge people. Because we all observe others and make quick assumptions. It's natural. People do it about me. I do it about others. But it's one thing I look at, like kind of laugh at, but I cringe at, of like high school me. I was quick to like ostracize other people from myself and just assume that they didn't have any value to offer for me. Selfishly, because I thought I knew exactly who they were. I thought I knew their values because I made judgments based off things I either observed or heard, you know, like political shit.
Yeah.
Or other things too. And I look back and I'm like, oh my God. I get embarrassed by that, because I know I like to hope I didn't project that so much, but I know I did. I know like maybe feel like I guilted people for being who they are because they don't align exactly with who I am. And I get mad at myself. So I would tell it, because we also live in such a world where everyone judges everyone else. And it's become harder to be authentic.
Yeah.
It is. It's more rare because there is like such a everyone has an opinion. It's so easy to hide on devices, to hide behind them and say things that are hurtful or mean, and just like,
Yeah.
laughing at others, this whole exact concept. And, I wouldn't want to be that person looking back. Not that I fully was, but I know I judged others for who I didn't even know because I heard one thing. And it's like, one, we're all better than the worst thing we've ever done. So if you're judging someone off a mistake they made, maybe be willing to have a little forgiveness, be willing to, think a little more of them. Some things are unforgivable. I get it. But that would probably be, there's a lot of lessons. That would be one. Don't be so quick to judge other people.
Somebody gave me a quote the other day. People are too quick to judge and too late to understand. It's one of their favorite quotes.
It's a great one.
It's a great one.
And in having the outlook when you're thinking about others of not judging other people, that empowers people around you to be authentic. And it reminds you yourself, if I hope to live in where people, you're who you are is not guided by what others think. And so you can feel more secure in being yourself. But if you want to be so secure in who you are and you're like, this is who I am, then you need to also see others in a way where you don't judge them for who they are. Live and let live. You don't have to align or agree with people, because those same people, it's not like I necessarily agree with or saw eye to eye with or had the same values or sense of humor, but I certainly wouldn't, think they're terrible. They're just different, more than different. What about you?
For me, it's a tie. Two things come to mind.
Okay.
One is a little more concise. And I don't know if this is going to sound like egotistical, but I think I have done both of these things somewhat well, but I'm not complete with the process of them. First thing is put in the work to find who you are, and then don't authentically express yourself, because authentic expression is the most liberating thing possibly you can do. The other thing is what I was talking about earlier. First learn to hone the monster and then learn how to control it. And so I think I'm getting to the point where I can control it and I can find a balance of tapping into it and just being in the world. Tapping into it, just being here. And let's just say my past inability to do so was me still heeding to the advice I gave earlier, like that is who I was authentically then. It's a piece of who I am authentically now. Like that seed is never going to leave me. But the way the plant looks on the outside can be trimmed, shaped. So I think those two things are kind of linked together, where it's like I have found that, and it is who I authentically am, a piece of me rather. It's like how big a piece? How does it fit into the rest of the pie? How does it affect the image of the puzzle? Real metaphorical right now.
Nice.
I'm in a bag.
I like it.
But those would probably be the two things that come to mind now, and honestly, I think those might stick.
Those are good
top three
advices to
advices.
remind yourself. Yeah, that should be it. We'll have to do an episode just on that. What lessons could you tell younger you? Would you? Maybe there's some listeners that benefit from it.
List is voluminous.
Yeah, it's incessant.
No.
Right, never ending.
I mean, I guess, but like incessant is like of a behavior. I think more so. He was incessantly harassing me
All right.
about how his use of incessant was proper. You know what I'm saying? Something like that.
Got it. All right. Well done. All right. That takes us to a good place, I think. You're heading away. So enjoy your...
Yeah. It cut out.
Just now?
Just now.
Oh, that's all right.
They'll just hear you.
All right. They'll hear me.
Actually, sir.
There we go. Hey, how you doing? Enjoy your break. You're going to be on break. Take a little vacation. We've been grinding here. And when you're back, August 17th, like we've said, the big day, More Than Difference, 3rd annual summer basketball tournament. It's heating up. I'm stressed as fuck. We're stressed at MTD as fuck. But you know what? It's a great time for Ro to just go on vacation and not care about what's going on for the business. That's fine. But
that's what you asked for when you asked for that title of Chief Executive Officer, didn't you?
Yeah, well, I love it. And guess what? It's rewarding. It will be rewarding despite the stress of it. And, there's a lot of moments where I just laugh at myself. But, hey, speaking of humor, go follow MTD Humor on Instagram. Weekly skits. We've done 8 of them. We're going to keep them coming. We took an off week because we've been focused on the tourney, but they're hilarious, and they're going to stay coming throughout the whole year because it's a form of community laughter. So back to Rowan.
Don't you have one more? Hold on, though. Don't you have one more word to say before we dip?
Oh, peace.
Peace.